Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. I hope you've had an amazing week. Today, on this episode of Sunday School, we are going to be talking about brushes, specifically talking about color application brushes and liner brushes. We've got a couple different options, and I know a lot of people, you want to invest in the right thing first. So there's a couple questions that we always get about, what's the best application brush? What's the best liner brush? And the real answer is, it kind of comes down to your personal preference. So let's get into it. I'm going to go over 3 application brushes and 3 liner brushes, and we're going to talk about the differences between all of them. Let's get going. So application brushes. Number 1 is the classic round brush. On here you can see that it says it has soft, flexible bristles, a tapered edge made with PBT fiber, which is really great synthetic fiber, and is great for even gel application and rounded to fit into the cuticle area. So if something that you're concerned with is getting into that cuticle area and maybe being able to fan your brush out and flatten it out and get that nice curve around the cuticle area, a round brush might be for you. Like I said, it really kind of comes down to how you prefer to work, and maybe if you have certain trouble areas, if you want to focus on getting a brush that will cater more towards those trouble areas, that might be something to consider. Option number 2 is the flat brush. Again, a pretty classic shape. If you've been in the industry for a while, you've probably seen both of those brushes show up on your table at one point or another. This one has more of a blunt edge, so it has a sharp corner and comes to a rectangular shape and is more suited towards application for the sidewalls because you can pull that straight line down the sidewalls as well. Now, I do feel like these ones are actually really handy for kind of tucking the corner in underneath the cuticle area and kind of getting around that back corner. But that's just me. I personally prefer to work with the flat style brushes. The round brushes I prefer to use when I'm doing actual sculpting. But that's just kind of how my brain works. So for me, a flat brush is kind of where it's at. Now, a lot of you will recognize our 2022 Reader's Choice Award-winning application brush from our Nail Thoughts line. It is called the application brush. Comes in a really cute color, comes in a cute pack and everything when you buy the set of 3 brushes that we have in the Nail Thoughts line. But this one is what we refer to as like a soft square shape. So it's got that flat edge, it's very rectangular, but the corners are a little bit tapered in. So it kind of gives you the best of both worlds. I really enjoy using this brush as well. To be honest, I enjoy using all the brushes. Typically what I will do is I will pick one brush for my dark colors, one brush for my glitters, one brush for my light colors, and allocate them as such, as opposed to picking and choosing the shape. Just because, I've gotten used to working with all of these different brushes for so long that I can work with any of them pretty comfortably. So I prefer to make sure, I'm keeping my dark colors in this brush, my glitter colors in this brush, and my lighter colors in this brush, just in case maybe I miss a little bit of gel when I'm cleaning it out between color changes. I'm not going to be marring my application or contaminating my gels. So those are 3 of the most kind of classic shapes we have in terms of color application. We do have a lot of other brushes to explore, so please don't limit yourself to these 3. We have a lot of different things for you guys to try. And even if they don't work for general color application, they might work for building. They might work for nail art for you. So, having more brushes in your arsenal is always a good idea. Let's talk about liner brushes. We have 3 in our line. Number 1 is my personal favorite, my baby, my right hand, the long liner brush. It's definitely the longest brush that we have in terms of liner brushes, but still very, very thin and has a really great flexibility, a really good bend. So you can kind of use that springiness to help you get really smooth lines. What's it say here? Great for creating fine lines, able to control thickness, flexible bristles. All of the above are very much true. These are all very true for all of these brushes. Basically, the difference is the density and then the actual length of the brush itself. But this is very much my go-to. I do a lot of line work and a lot of color blocking, and this ending up in my hand every manicure without fail. Now, if you do a lot of hand painting, if you're doing a lot of florals, maybe if you're doing a lot of character art, the short liner brush is a really good thing to have on hand because it gives you a really good amount of control when it comes to where you're placing those colors and how you're creating your curves and your angles. It's got a nice tapered point and it is great for creating fine lines and easy to handle and has versatile use. That's what it says right on the website, and it is very much true. This is really great, not so much for doing line work, like straight lines or, color blocking, stuff like that. But when you're getting those really fine details and kind of like those little kind of fine art moments that you're trying to achieve on the manicure, this is a really, really handy brush to have in your hand. Have you ever tried to paint eyelashes on a character on a pinky nail? Because I have, and it wasn't very fun. And I really wish that I had my hand on this brush when that time came. This is the thin liner brush. It is super teeny tiny, super little bitty thin. It is tapered to a nice point and is perfect for like really, really intense, super teeny tiny little details in your nail art. It is definitely for those of us who are very detail oriented and trying to get every little aspect of every little thing on that nail to be completely perfect and well thought out. So if you are an extreme detail artist, the thin liner brush should definitely be in your arsenal. So there you have it, a general overview of a couple application brush options and then a couple liner brush options and what they might be good for you. If you guys have any questions, as always, we have the cute little question box right up here. And if you guys have any ideas, maybe you want to see like a cool new brush shape that came to mind that maybe we haven't seen, or maybe we don't have in our collection that we might be missing, feel free to drop that in here below or in this question box, because we're always looking for new ideas. We love hearing from you guys and hearing what you have to say, because in the end, it's all for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in this Sunday. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week, and we will see you next Sunday.